All right, let's talk about what are called hero sections. So many sites, especially those that are selling a service or a product of some sort, have what's called a hero section, and it's basically the initial section that a person sees when they first land on the website. Now, some sites that are content heavy, like blogs or magazine style websites, don't necessarily need header or hero sections rather. And a hero section really consists of just a few main components, and its primary purpose is to really address and answer the question, why am I here? What is this website about? How is it going to benefit me? And where do I go from thereafter? So there are main components to it, and we're going to take a look at what really makes up your typical hero section. So the first element is a really good solid headline. All right, this is usually just one sentence long. You don't want it to be a bunch of words. You do want it to be large. You want it in terms of visual hierarchy. It's the thing that you want people to read first. And there's a lot of different ways and orientations you can lay it out. As you can see, this is kind of left aligned. And usually also with a hero section, you also see a subheadline of some sort. And so in terms of the marketing psychology of it, the headline is where you usually emphasize the benefits of the service or the product, and then the subheadline kind of gets more into the features or specific details. And usually this can be anywhere from one sentence to 2 or 3 sentences. Either way, they need to be relatively short and concise, and really answer that question within the first several seconds that a visitor lands on your site, and that way they will not leave, they will not bounce out, as it's called. And it's just really important to also, in terms of UI design, to get the visual hierarchy between these two elements established. I've seen a lot of times a headline and subheadline end up looking a little bit too similar. Maybe one's just a little bit larger than the other, and it just does not look good. The user's not really sure where they should look. So make sure you have a really clear distinction between these two elements. Now, sometimes you may not even have a subheadline. So this is just your typical scenario of a hero section. The next component of a hero section is vitally important, and that is the call to action. And usually this is in the form of a button, although it doesn't have to be a button. It could be something like a form field, like an email collection. It could be a little scroll indicator telling the user to scroll down. But most often it's a big button. Sometimes there's a secondary call to action if there's 2 pages that might be of interest. And if that's the case, you should always design them differently and emphasize one over the other. And then the final component of a hero section that we see typically is either a photograph or some sort of illustration. And this is a real common layout for this sort of thing. You have on the left column, you have these 3 elements, your headline, subheadline, and a button. And then on the right, you have an illustration or a photograph of some sort. And that is your very typical hero section. So now what we're going to do here going forward, I'm going to actually put myself on the spot by creating a hero section right on the spot while live or recording this video. I'm not going to pre-plan the project, and I'm just going to show you my thought process in terms of creating these hero sections that are engaging, and they really knock off all the checkpoints in terms of what a hero section needs to be.